Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo people. This is your counter view. This is your Friday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, of course. We're here to talk about the weekend, of course, and also some links with Man United and the Zerbi after being slapped yesterday for is he the right man for Manchester United? Links Ivan Toney to Spurs. They're talking about trying to lure him into going to Spurs. We'll talk about that. And free scoring Arsenal facing Brentford tomorrow. Can they go top? Are they going to go top? And how many goals are they going to score? I think that's the question that everybody's asking. How many goals can Arsenal score? It's not that if they're going to win or not. But like the video if you are here. Hit that like button for me if you are here, of course. And if you're watching this on the replay, like the video, of course. Big up everybody that joined us, of course, from the beginning. I'm here with Mike Griggs, of course, and Northside, of course, is here. Will is going to be here. Kunle is going to be here. Or that's what they said. Because you guys are asking for, well, that's what they said, of course. But listen, how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling?
I'm good. I'm good, man. My only team that's stressing me is Benfica, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Arsenal aren't stressing you anymore, huh?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Not
They're
at
on
the
good
moment.
behavior at the moment. Good behavior.
Griggs is always stressed, I'm sure. He's always stressed
Yeah,
with Manchester United.
even my Greek team sucks now. Like Northside says, he's talking about he's stressing about his Portuguese team. I'm stressing about my Greek team. We're losing to Maccabi Haifa and them teams 4-1 yesterday in Europa League. It's peak.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, screw the Maccabi Haifa team. Anyway, we're not going to get into that, bro. I don't know why they're playing, to be honest, football. Anyway, listen, people, we'll talk. I want to speak about the Zerbi. I want to start with the Zerbi. I'm a big fan of the Zerbi, but again, losing 4-0 yesterday in the Europa League against Roma, who aren't the strongest, right? Who aren't the strongest. How did Mike? There are links with him and Manchester United. Do you think he's the right guy for Man United? Especially at this time, you know what I mean?
yeah, no. I think with this current like managerial search that should happen in the summer, I don't think there's really like a strong candidate that has like really piqued my interest yet. Like before Ten Hag got appointed, he was my number one choice. I'm not gonna sit here and like lie about that. He was my number one choice. I really wanted him. I even did articles on him. Clearly, I was wrong. I got bamboozled by him. He proved me wrong. But with the Zerbi, there's pros and cons. The pros is at United with a stable structure, allegedly, which what we hope to have. Less chop and change than he endures at Brighton, right? Because at Brighton, you don't know what players you're gonna have every year because they try to sell their best players like Caicedo and McAllister this past summer. That had a big influence on how he could improve the team from last year into this year. How like the tactics. So at United, maybe that could you're not gonna sell your best player every year. Obviously, at United, it's a bigger club, so he'll have more stability within the squad, able to work on his tactics more, know what players he has, able to kind of know what he could utilize. But looking at that game yesterday, I see a lot of out of possession mistakes. Obviously, I know Brighton aren't like the best team. They don't have like the best players, but as a coach, you should be able to set up your team out of possession well, in my opinion. No matter what players you have, you should be able to set up a stabilized structure there. So it looks weak. I have concerns on how he could take the next step. I think he's a good tactician. I think he's an upgrade over Eric Ten Hag personally, but I don't know how he'll really adjust to a bigger club, and especially at Man United, where you're going to be the first manager in a new rebuild with a new ownership group. That's going to bring a little bit of pressure on you for you to be the one that the first one to bring stability to the club in a long time. So I'm not sure. I do think once again, I do think he's a good coach. I think a lot of people are going a little bit overboard with him, but I get it because he got
What do you mean
hyped up.
overboard? Like
Some
overhype
people
him
think
or
no. There's some people that think now he's a bum, as opposed to like last year he was the flavor of the month when he came into Brighton, and now people, you know how people do, they build you up to tear you down. That's how it goes.
yeah.
So
I
now
like him, to be honest. I like him. I think I want to see him with a better squad. To be honest,
yeah,
my point is I want to see him with a better squad.
I agree.
This is what I think, to be honest. Uh this is what I think, to be honest. Like I wanna be I want to see the Zerbi with a better squad because I think it will work, to be honest. However, I don't care if it doesn't work because it's Man United. That's the thing. I'm being honest. Like
Yeah.
I want to see. So yesterday, for example, the second goal, like they had the ball and everything. And people in the chat, I want you to answer this question, please. Do you think that Zerbi can succeed with a better team? Yes or no question, please. Everyone in the chat. Do you think that Zerbi can succeed with a better team? For me, like for example, Lewis Dunk trying to stop a ball coming from 50 feet high, trying to stop it. Who does he think he is? Iniesta with Lukaku pressing him. Second goal happens, he's done. He's out there by himself. My point is, did Zerbi have a good plan, good system, good structure? This is what made Caicedo. This is what made Trossard. This is what made Mitoma look good. Billy Gilmore, Lewis Dunk is now might go to the Euros. I need to see him with a better team. And if Ineos will back him and will get him better players, even than the players at Man United at the moment, I want to see that. If it doesn't work, I don't care about Manchester United. You're in the mud anyway. Who cares if you fail?
I mean, he does have a lot of appreciators upstairs. Obviously, Omar Barada. I'm sure De Zerbi was on the list for City, right? Post Pep. I'm sure he's on that list. I know Ineos at Nice hired one of De Zerbi's assistant coaches, Farioli. They used to work together at Sassuolo, I believe. So I think there's a mutual appreciation there. I do agree with you. I do want to see how he looks with a better team, but I do have some concerns in terms of like out of possession structure, how they break down low blocks, how much space, how much that gaps they leave. It's a little difficult, but I do want to see. I think with a good structure, with a team that gets him players that fit the system and stuff like that, based on the scouting report and stuff like that, I do think he could do well. It's just about he has to also kind of let go of the stubbornness a little bit. He's a very stubborn manager at a big club. It's okay to be stubborn, but you also have to sometimes be adaptive for results.
Yeah,
because it is a results based business, especially when you're at a top club. It's not Brighton. Where at Brighton they don't really care about results. If the style of play looks good, they'll be happy over there. But here,
100%.
it's a little bit. You have to be able to balance both things, and that's the hardest thing for a manager to do, in my opinion. That's whether you could make the jump to a big club or not.
No, Sad, what do you think about the Zerbi situation? Do you think is a good manager, or do you think he should go to a bigger team? Do you think he should go to like Man United or something like this, or you don't, or do you think he's a hipster?
I think he's a hipster. I don't see anything phenomenal about him. I think Man United, should go for somebody like Inzaghi. I'll take Inzaghi. I'll take him right now just to stress out Mo. You know what I mean? Listen, your manager, bro, he's been looked at by a lot of
clubs. But so the question that you're gonna ask yourself, yes, they should go for Inzaghi. Why would Inzaghi leave Inter to go to Manchester United?
Because they're a bigger club than yours.
In terms of fan base, they got more money. So here's the thing. So the question is, if it's only going to be the money that can lure him. So if Inter offer him a good contract and Man United won't pay him that much money, why would he go? There is no reason for him to go to a ship before it's even being corrected. That's actually, I wasn't going to discuss this on a show, right? Later, not like next week or something. But since you opened it up, why do you think Man United can attract top coaches still? Apart from money, apart from offering them astronomical wage.
Yeah, they can attract top
coaches. How? Yeah. Why would they?
Because we've seen, because I'll explain to you why. Man United, even in the downfall of Man United was still able to attract big players. They even had coaches like Jose Mourinho, even though he was starting to decline, dreaming of managing Manchester United. Rebuilding Manchester United is still a big dream for a lot of coaches. It's one of the most successful clubs in the world, the biggest club in England. That holds weight. And when you're a fallen giant, big players and big managers still will look at the club as an option, especially with Ineos and everything that's going behind closed doors. So Man United have been in worse positions and been able to attract names that people would have said, well, where you're currently at, you couldn't attract that. So that is why I feel like just because they're currently in the mud doesn't mean that they're still not an attractive club to go to with everything, especially the fact that everything is changing. Well, we assume everything is changing in terms of board level. So that pool is still that pool. But you even see it with Barcelona, for example. Barcelona, £1 billion in debt. Players still want to play for Barcelona because it's Barcelona. Certain clubs are beyond where they are. It is who they are. And their history and their
I disagree,
reputation.
but fine. I disagree with you completely.
Well, at the end of the day,
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree. Barca's worst is coming second, third, still play Champions League. Man United worst is out of the Champions League. Is absolute disaster. For me, if you go to Barca and you fail, you still might win the cup. You still will go to the Champions League. You'll come second or third. If you go to Manchester United and fail, you become sixth, seventh, fifth, eighth, whatever.
And why is that? And why is that?
Yeah, but that's the point. They tried during the last period when they hired Mourinho, when they hired Van Gaal. There was still the hope. There was still the talk of Man United will come back. You're the one who's gonna bring them back. And I said that, and I had this argument with Terry the other day. I said, Man United, if they go to a coach that is now successful with his club, like for example, if they go to Arteta, for example, if Arteta doesn't win anything this year, let's say Arteta doesn't win the league this year. If they go to Arteta, who's with Arsenal, and offer him triple his salary, he wouldn't leave Arsenal because Arsenal now in a better place, right? And even though Man United are bigger than Arsenal, Arteta wouldn't leave Arsenal to go to them. If they go to Simeone and offer him the same money, why would Simeone leave Manchester? Unless Simeone wants to leave Atletico, but they won't be able to lure him away from Atletico. Okay, if they go to Inter now, Inter are about to give Inzaghi a new contract. He's now gonna win the league with Inter. The only way he would actually go to Manchester United if they offer him good money. I'm not sure about this project that, because there is a lot of talk about Man United fixing the board and fixing that, but it hasn't happened yet. Players are still toxic inside the club. Yeah, the players the environment is toxic. Until it's fixed, I don't think they can attract a coach that has a job, unless it's maybe the Zerbi, because
I disagree. I agree with parts of what you said, and I disagree. And the reason is, I agree with everything that you said about where currently Man United are. The thing with Man United, they already have 50% of what it takes to be successful. Financially, they can compete with Man City. The money that they spend, they can compete. It's never been about.
That's a mess. The money is a mess
with Man United.
No, son.
It's never been about money with Man United. It's been about structure. And if they get the structure right, they give the manager the power and the sporting director that is going to work well with the manager that they appoint, it's not going to take them that long to get on the right path. They've had the money. They've just been misled. They are the epitome of having too much money and no clear direction and no structure and no flipping ambition at that club to be the best and rewarding failure. If they correct that, they already have the money. Your club's gone through it where you've won the league, and then because of finances, you weren't able to continue being successful, selling certain players, which is why Conte got upset. They have the money with the right manager and the right sporting director. They already have the finances to be able to keep competing if they recruit properly and they have the right structure at the top. They're trying to change that. We don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's not about the money with them. It is about the structure. And if they get it right, that is an attractive opposition. It is attractive to go there. Because if people are going to tell me it's attractive,
I don't think it's attractive at all.
I think it is.
If you're a player, you think twice before you go Man United. Now.
I think it's easier to recruit a coach than a player, in my opinion, when it comes to Man United, because I think with a coach, we talk about legacy. What better legacy boost than being like the manager to be in charge when United become good again? Obviously, we've been decent in previous years, but like when I'm talking about like competing for Premier League and Champions League, you want to be the manager that's going to be there when it happens, because you're going to be the first one since Sir Alex to see any sort of success there. So I think it's easier to recruit a coach than a player, because a top player for me, I think right now United would be tough. That's why I think when I look at our targets, we're going for like the 22, 23-year-olds at like smaller clubs, because that's easier to convince than going to Barcelona to go get one of their players, Real Madrid. If we go there to get some players, they need to make the over 30s like Casemiro and Varane that are just looking for new challenges and they're trying to get that last bag, which fair enough. But I do think so. But I do agree with like more what you're saying. It is going to be tough. And even with Inzaghi, I don't think it'll happen. I think he's comfortable at Inter. And they are a better club than us right now. Like by far. Like it's not even close. So I don't think like he would go there. Obviously, he'd be my number one choice too. But
Yeah, you are the thing about it. What you're saying, Mike, is that you're assuming that the coach will fix Man United. I think the coaches coming to Man United will think the other way around. Will think, what if we fail?
It's possible. I mean,
like I think you are,
any job, though.
you are like I don't know, you're painting a very good story. The coach comes to Man United, fixes it, and it's good. I'm looking at the other part. I'm looking, what if the coach goes to Man United and just doesn't work, and still Marcus Rashford is there, Bruno Fernandes is there, and it's still toxic and
that
still
all
not
depends
great.
on what they offer him, though, Mo. That's the point. Like, obviously, if no manager's going to go there, if they're not going to be, if they won't have the power to do, and I can't believe I'm referring to it, but what Arteta did, Arteta was given power. His decision was to get rid of Ozil, the club backed him. His decision was to get rid of Aubameyang, the club backed him. His decision was to go and get certain players of a certain age profile, he was backed. I think if they back a manager like that, and then they appoint a sporting director and everything else that needs to be around the manager to help him, and then be given that budget that Man United have, the money that they can spend, then it may look a lot more convincing, a lot more of a convincing proposition to go to Man United. So it depends what power they give the manager. You know, certain managers don't want to go to certain clubs if they don't have certain.
So I want to ask you something then. Do you think if they offer this to Ange Postecoglou, would he leave Spurs? If they offer him double his wage, would he leave Spurs? Let's see Spurs this year comes 5th or something. Man United comes 6th. I don't know if that will make Spurs go to Champions League or not. Would Ange Postecoglou leave Spurs to go to Manchester United? They're a much bigger club and way more successful, right? Manchester United.
Why would he stay at Spurs? Managers have already got Spurs in good positions and not been backed with money. The owner has never won anything. The owner's never made the right decisions in clutch moments, i.e. giving Jose, sacking Jose before cup final. Even though he wasn't the right guy, at least give him the chance to go to the cup final and win you something since you ain't won something for ages. Poch gets you to the Champions League, not backed by the man, not by the owner, and given the money to succeed. So as much as you can say about Man United, and I agree with you, they're not built at the moment to be winners. When a Spurs been built to be winners? So it is a step up. Bigger profile, bigger club, more money to spend on players that you may want. If you're comparing Spurs to Man United, it's not really a comparison.
Wow. So you really think that Ange would leave Spurs next season to go to Manchester United?
What's changed at Tottenham Hotspur?
What if Spurs make Champions League?
But what's changed at Tottenham Hotspur? Am I saying a lie?
By the way, you're assuming he wasn't backed. He was backed in the summer. There's Madison, Ange Postecoglou. They spent 270 million euros.
Pay like that. The same ownership that gave him the job.
Yeah, but they spent 270 million euros.
Yeah, because he allowed the players that were on the bench for them going into the Champions League final to become their starting lineup players and let that team rock.
Can I ask you something then? Do you have the same, if I say Arteta would leave Arsenal to go to Man United? Because Arteta was backed last summer, but he wasn't always backed in the January transfer windows. You were given Trossard, but he wasn't backed as much as the other coaches. Would Arteta leave Arsenal to go to Man United? With all respect, Arsenal and Spurs aren't on the same level. I know that. I'm not trying to troll here. But I'm saying there is a difference between Arsenal and Manchester United in terms of success, in terms of the financial power, by the way, is different. People just don't realize this. You can look at how much money Man United spend and the revenue and all the stuff versus Arsenal. Would Arteta leave Arsenal to go to Manchester United then?
I don't know. Depends what he's fueled by.
I want to know what you think.
I don't think so. I don't think he would. I don't think he would. But I can see why Ange would leave, because the problem, the thing is that I'm talking, you've made the comparison between Ange leaving Spurs to go to Man United. Oh, Man United are not set to win anything. Man United have been rubbish. Or Tottenham, even when they've had all the incentive to push on and go to the next level, their ownership has been the hindrance. And that ownership still remains there. Daniel
By the way,
Levy's
so was
been Daniel
Liverpool
Levy's been
ownership,
part
by
of
the
the
way. No
hindrance.
side. So was Liverpool's ownership. So is sometimes Arsenal's ownership. Over the years, you didn't back all the coaches. Sometimes it's just that. Like,
Yeah,
but that
well, that's
doesn't
what I said. I don't
mean.
know. It
So
depends.
you're saying that Man United are just gonna, it's all about the money, though. I don't think. I don't think Man United are looking from outside. If I was a coach, I would not advise a top coach that has a job to go to Manchester United. Listen, if you're an Antonio Conte, Jose
I
Mourinho,
never said I'd
even a
advise it.
Zidane,
I never said I'd advise it. I just said that there is a possibility there. There is a
Hmm.
possibility there because I've seen them be able to get managers like Jose Mourinho still wanting to go there and rebuild Man United. Jose Mourinho and this Jose Mourinho is Jose Mourinho. He wanted to go there and rebuild it. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. They still were able to attract him.
yeah,
Is that the same situation now? I don't know. They were in the mud then. They're still in the mud now.
they
They've just
weren't in the mud there. They weren't. That's a problem. I think that's what you. I think by that time that Jose Mourinho was it 2019.
2016.
Mourinho
Got it.
joined 2016.
I
Yeah,
can't remember the year.
How many years did he stay?
2.5.
Was it 3? Oh,
2.5.
2.5. Okay. I thought it was 3.
Oh yeah, 2016. That was only 3-4 years after the last title, and they were still able to buy a lot of players. And they bought Pogba,
They've
one of
still been
the.
buying a lot of players. Look how much money Ten Hag has been
Here's the
spending.
problem. I don't think they will be able to attract the top players. By the way, I don't think top players will go to Manchester United.
Listen, I can see why managers and players wouldn't want to, but managers and players are not all, they don't all have the same objectives. Certain players or managers are about money. Some of them are about what their legacy is going to be about. We see this all the time. So it all depends about what the manager, what his goal is. You know, are you looking for heritage? Are you looking for legacy? Or are you just looking for the best paycheck? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. How can you predict what another manager wants or a player wants? Clearly, Man United have got a lot of players that at times they just come there for a paycheck. The same thing was happening with my club.
I mean, for me,
So
it's all going to be on about how, like, in negotiations room, how these guys sell the project. The previous owners and stuff like that, in my opinion, and like the board wasn't able to sell the project to top players other than money. Obviously, now you're expecting to have top negotiators, top businessmen in terms of like in football businessmen. Omar Barada, this guy's was meant to be one of the best at Manchester City. You expect him to be able to sell a vision correctly to the players. Dan Ashworth's meant to be one of the best in Premier League. I'm expecting him to be able to sell the vision correctly. I'm expecting other people, Brailsford, all these guys, I'm expecting them to do it. But I think it's gonna happen this summer. No, I don't expect it to happen this quickly, but in a couple years, I do expect to actually be able to sell this vision that they have. Because Radcliffe told me a 3-year project. So I'm judging it by a 3-year project. Then I want to see how he's able to sell it, because in a couple years time, I do expect to be going for the top players. I'm not talking about like players from like the top clubs, but like top players that are ready to take that next step in their career. How like Jude went from Dortmund to Real Madrid. I'm expecting to be able to go for those type of players that aren't going to end up at Real Madrid. Obviously, I'm not going to say I can't compete with Real Madrid. That's impossible. Even at our best, we couldn't. But those guys that aren't going to be going there, but they're available to go to other clubs, I expect to be able to compete with them. So that's what my goal is, and I do think we could do that in a couple of years. Right now, I think we're going to be going for a lot of like the young English guys, Branthwaite, or young Premier League talents like
Conor
Olise.
Gallagher, these guys.
Nah,
Maybe you can attract Michael Olise. Maybe you
look
can
at look
attract
at
Eze.
I mean, Olise is a good talent, so I'll
yeah,
definitely take him.
last
Think about it, to be honest with you, Mike. I know you do want Conor Gallagher, for example. I'm thinking this is the caliber of player. You still can go on to Borussia Dortmund and try to get a player. But I don't think like top players, if Arsenal are going to a player and Man United going for a player next season, where do you think that player would end up? Same
Depends.
finances.
I mean, Lissandro Martinez shows United over Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It wasn't a promise of a new project and Eric Ten Hag and all the stuff. I think the problem is you have promised so many times the project. Does that make sense? There's so
and
many times that
under-delivered.
I've seen Arsenal promise, the Man United promise the project. And it hasn't even progressed. It will progress one step and it goes back 2 or 3 steps. I think that's the problem. in my
Well, it
opinion.
depends. It depends on the player. It depends on like a player chooses a club based on many things. Money's a factor. Playing time is a factor. Arsenal have a bigger squad than us. They have a better squad than us. So if a player chooses between the two clubs, United might be able to give him more game time because there's more bums at our team. So like Alicia, for example, Alicia's ready to snub Chelsea for United, and Chelsea are meant to be on the same level in terms of
Well,
big
you
club than us.
aren't on the same place as Manchester United. It's Chelsea. Chelsea are in a way bigger mess.
No, but what I'm saying is, but they're still Chelsea's still a big
Bro,
club.
Chelsea are like they are in trouble financially.
No, but even Alicia was wanted by Manchester City and all these time the clubs. Even Arsenal wanted
You
Alicia.
wouldn't choose Man United over Manchester City. He would be an idiot to do that, and you would not advise him to do that.
Depends though. At Manchester City, he's not going to start games.
Hold on.
He would at United.
So you think Michael Olise should choose Man United because he would start games over Manchester City, for example? I just want to get this straight.
Depends. You could.
Do you think that north side at all?
Well, it depends what he wants, isn't it? It depends what he wants. Do you want to go to Man City and you have to fight for your place and it's not guaranteed, but you're in a club that's going to win major honors? Or do you want to go to Man United where you start every week? But like you said, it may be another false promise. And then your stocks can go down. This is the problem. One wrong move in your career when your trajectory is like that, you can fall off a cliff. You know what I mean? So the end of the day, you could kind of plummet. You can plummet, you know, with alongside the whole structure around the club. But he's right. It depends on the factors, man. Not everybody wants the same things in life, and the same with the footballers, bro.
Yeah.
Some footballers want to chase, you know, the money and who's paying the most, and others want legacy and trophies, and that's what they want to do. So not everybody's in the game for equal reasons.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, people, hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. Listen, about this Zerbi thing and Man United and all the stuff. I'm not sure where it ends. I'm not sure because it's every time now we're talking about Manchester United and they can attract players and stuff. Yes, they attracted Pogba, Jadon Sancho chose Manchester United. There's a lot. Lisandro Martinez, as you said, chose Manchester United. Onana at the end, he's kind of like Inter let him go, and then he wanted to go, which is fine. My point is, if a club has a Champions League football next year, and Man United are asking for him, and Man United don't have Champions League, yes, you'd hire a new coach, depending on who the coach is. If it's not Zidane, like let's say you hired Zerbi, you hired Graham Potter, I don't know who you're gonna hire, Tuchel or something. I don't think Tuchel will go to Man United. I don't think that player would choose Manchester United, in my opinion. I don't think they would.
It depends. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Champions League has become the be all and end all for
because it's Champions League is
no,
attractive.
I'm talking about, but it's only 1 year. If you could, United could be out of the Champions League 1 year, but we'll be back the year after. We haven't gone more than 1 year consecutively without being in Champions League. At most, we're away from a 1 year, and then we're back the next year. So I don't understand why for players. I don't understand why it's always been like a 1 year. Because even Pogba, when Pogba and Zlatan joined United, we were in Europa League. We were not in Champions League, and we're talking about the
on the promise of to bring Man United back. I think that's what happened.
It's gonna happen again, though. It's gonna be the same. I mean, it's gonna be the same promise, but eventually, a promise succeeds. You never know.
Eventually, at some point, promise succeed. Listen, I want to move on from Manchester United to actually Arsenal. Facing Brentford can be top this weekend. There is a talk about the striker situation at Arsenal. Do you still need Ivan Toney? Kai Havertz is there, and you're scoring goals left and right. You broke records in 7 games or something like this. You're absolutely entertaining Arsenal now. I know you're gonna say go and win go win in the Premier League now and do all the stuff. But I think looking at this Arsenal team, the progression, this team would beat the team of last season.
Yeah, and so it should. We've had transfer windows after the end of last season, and you're supposed to strengthen in those transfer windows. So
you believe this team is stronger? So that means there's progression at Arsenal.
Yeah, it's progression in personnel. Yeah, but the only real measurement of progression is getting a major trophy because we finished second. So you need to win a major honor.
Do you believe you get closer to the top? That's not progression.
Closer to the top? What do you mean closer to the top? What does that mean?
For example, you didn't challenge until the end last season. If you challenge until the end and whatever the circumstances, you lose it based on stuff. I think that's progression. But I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about what you think Arteta have changed. To be honest, we've been talking about this all the time. I wanted to know what you think Arteta have changed in this Arsenal team. Why Arsenal look way better now than the beginning of the season?
Because
Way better.
he's taken the handbrake off. At the start of the season, people were telling me we're playing this controlled football. And I always said, and I remember telling you this as well, this group of players don't suit sit back football. They don't. They like to express themselves. They like to get forward. They like to attack space, open spaces. They like to be expressive. They like to play quick transition football. And once we reverted back to that, everybody started ticking again. Everything started looking better again. There was no surprise that when we played controlled football, there was multiple players not looking good enough. Arsenal fans saying it wasn't looking convincing enough. People wanting a striker in January. It's because the football wasn't the best suited to these group of players. The team that he assembled and he's created is not a team that likes to sit back. But now that he's opening up and taking the game to the opposition, this is when we get the best out of our players. And yeah, and he's also done well in putting Kivior there instead of Zinchenko, because now we don't have a clear weakness in our defense that teams can target. Like when we lost 1-0 against Aston Villa, it came down to Zinchenko's side. With Kivior, he is better defensively. He's better defensively. And adding Jorginho as well gives us a different dynamic. Odegaard's good at short passes, but Jorginho's got those long-range passes that makes us less predictable. And we can catch opposition when they're playing a high line. Jorginho's distribution from deep is really, really good.
So you think he became less stubborn, Arteta?
Less stubborn in holding back. A lot of times at the start of the season, would counter-attack, and a lot of times would run down to the edge of the box and then turn back round and play the safe pass. Now we're transitioning a lot faster, whether it's long balls from Jorginho, whether it's Odegaard releasing the ball to the front three a lot quicker, and we're catching teams when they're playing a high line. And that is what we was doing last season. So it's working a lot better, I think. And not being so one-dimensional. If you nullify Odegaard, you nullify the majority of our creativity. Now we've got Jorginho that adds another layer of creativity in a different way. So it's less predictable at how we're going to attack you. It might be a long pass from deep, like Jorginho, that ball into Havertz that you almost scored from. Or it may be an Odegaard springing a counter-attack straight to Martinelli or Saka. So we're playing a lot expansive, and there's different ways that we're breaking teams down or attacking teams. So yeah,
I believe so. I believe the thing about it is that Kai Havertz now is playing all right. Like last game, at least, he was playing very good. I thought that the game I saw from Kai Havertz last game reminded me of the Kai Havertz of Bayern Leverkusen. I'm watching Arsenal now. I'm entertained again. I like what I'm seeing. I think, are they unstoppable in the league? I'm not sure. I'm going to ask Griggs about this. Do you think Arsenal now are the best team in the league in terms of football in current form?
In current form, I do think they play the best football. I kind of agree with Northside with like taking the handbrake off. In the beginning of the season, Arsenal was one of the most boring teams I've ever seen in my life. Everything just felt so robotic, so predictable. It looked like Arteta literally had an earpiece and just telling them exactly what to do. That's what it felt like, because last year Arsenal were the most entertaining team I've seen in the Premier League, probably since the Centurions, I would say. Like in terms of entertainment, the way they would start games, Arsenal would be 1-0 up within 5 minutes every single game. They were like the quickest starters I've ever seen. This year that didn't happen. Obviously, I think Arteta went into his pep brain and tried to like limit the amount of mistakes they made, like try to micromanage the game to an extreme level. But I think now he's realized if he dominates the game and he attacks with such ferocity, that your mistakes will be limited anyway, because they're actually even better defensively now than they were earlier in the year. And earlier in the year, they were focusing more on defensively than attacking. But now they're conceding basically one shot a target every game at best.
Less.
Even less. It's even less, right? So it's actually incredible. I think Northside mentioned like Zinchenko getting not playing instead of Kivior. I think that's a good thing as well. Well, you mentioned Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz's movement has actually been pretty good, to be fair, and it's opening a lot of space for the likes of Martinelli, who was struggling earlier in the year. Now he's able to be better. I think Jorginho was another one. I think the long range passing is good. Obviously, Kai Havertz in the midfield for me was offering nothing. It was just basically having a body.
That was shit, to be honest.
It was just a body in there. Right now, you're adding a perfect player next to Declan Rice, because Declan Rice as good as he is, he's not the best passer of the football, especially progressively. When you had Kai Havertz next to him and Odegaard, you basically left the responsibility all on Odegaard to be the progressor. Like Norshad mentioned, if you take Odegaard out the game, how is the midfield going to get the ball further up the pitch? Now you have Jorginho, who, yes, he has his deficiencies athletically, but on the ball, passing wise, he's one of the best in the world. There's a reason why he was able to get to third to Ballon d'Or, because just from the passing he was doing for Italy, for Chelsea, the long range passing he was able to do over the top in that 3-back formation. And I think Jorginho and Rice is a good pivot. And Arteta went away from her for one game against Porto, and that was Arsenal's worst performance of the season, where they didn't even have a shot on target. Jorginho comes back into the lineup against a Newcastle team who is, I think, worse than Porto, but on a similar level. They're pretty close levels. And they beat the piss out of Newcastle. It was a demolition. It was over from the first 5 minutes. You could tell that Arsenal were going to beat the shit out of them. So I think they're the best performing team, but we saw this from last year from Arsenal.
Yeah. Do you think this Arsenal team need a striker, Mike? This Arsenal team that is playing now, do they still need a striker now? Do they still need someone to replace Kai Havertz or something?
I think they do, but this is the tricky part though. It has to be the exactly right striker, because if they get the wrong one, it has the potential to ruin the whole thing. If they go get, like, I don't know who that striker is. This is why the recruitment team needs to get it bang on. Yep. I mean, obviously, Kai Havertz, as good as he's playing right now, there's definitely an upgrade on Kai Havertz out there in the market. If there isn't, then the sport is already cooked. It's clipped if we can't find an upgrade on Kai Havertz. Let's be serious. Do I think maybe
what if they win the league with Kai Havertz?
City won the league with Gabriel Jesus up top. Don't mean that they got him out the door, and they still won the league. So it's like, I think you can always improve, and there definitely has to be a striker out there that's better than Kai Havertz. Maybe not Osimhen
as a starter.
As a starter, yeah, they have to get. I think they have to get one. But
do you think that number 9 thing needs to be like an actual number 9, like someone who just put the ball in the back of the net? Or does that striker need to be a little bit of a false 9? Because Gabriel Jesus is a false 9. Kai Havertz doesn't play as a striker.
We don't need a false 9. We need somebody that's going to be clinical. This is the problem, and this is where the compliments stop and the questions have to be put up front. Ultimately, Arsenal are playing very, very well. What's our answer when we're nullified against teams like Porto?
Because you need a backup striker. So you need a backup striker. You don't need a main striker then.
No, but the problem that I'm saying is this: once our system's nullified, nobody performs. You don't get no individuals that is going to score you goals, even with limited chances. So you need somebody that can make even a half chance into a goal, and we don't have that. We don't have anyone that excels when the system isn't working. And that is when we come short. Even the West Ham game that we lost, we had 30, not the last game we had, the game before that we had 30 shots and we lost 2-0. We need somebody that's going to be clinical, because the manager looked very lost against Porto. He didn't change the formation. He didn't change the tactics. He didn't even utilize the bench. So what aspect, how is he needs to earn his money by coaching his way out of games like this, because I do think we're going to still face games like this towards the end of the season, where teams are going to be resolute and they're going to be hard to break down. And we need to see something from this manager. And I have not yet seen how he is going to break down teams like that. I didn't see anything against Porto.
Did break down Sheffield, Forest.
Don't compare those teams to the way that Porto defended.
Yeah, forget the Champions League. This is a different sport. No, me and you know, Champions League is a different.
It's not just about different sport. This has been
a different animal, Champions League, and he needs to earn his experience there.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm telling you, I've seen this manager come up against low blocks or mid blocks, what they call these days, and still struggle at times to break down teams. So listen, I'm telling you, we've got a team with a bunch of players that are very good, but they're system players. They're not individuals. When the system ain't working, we don't have a plan B, because no one on the bench is even trusted by this manager, which is why he only made one substitution against Porto. And this was a bench that a lot of people wanted to get rid of in January. So this is why there's still questions. And then the second question is, have we actually changed the mentality when the going gets rough? Have we got the stomach to get over the line? Because last season we bottled it. You said we didn't push it the whole way. Season,
game week 30, you collapsed.
Exactly. We lost 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. Player for player, we were better. What was the problem? The mentality. The pressure was on. We bottled it. So this is the thing. The mentality we need to
But
see.
it looks different. I'm not gonna assume the mentality. It looks better now.
Now is not when the pressure's on.
Depends though.
Now is not when the
There's
pressure's
a
on.
lot. You
That's
have 3
disingenuous of me
teams.
to say that.
in the
Talk about the
title
mentality
race.
though. If they go to
Mo,
City
you
in a
know
couple
exactly
weeks,
what you're doing. The pressure ain't on right now. This is why we were top of the league for 93% of the season last season. When it's 10, 6, 7, 8 games to go to win the league, that is when we saw the pressure really mount on and we capitulated. That's why people said we bottled it. We're not at that stage yet. We're approaching it. We're not at that stage yet. Arsenal's had a reputation for the last 20 years of being soft belly Arsenal every time the real pressure's on. And that is something that I'm not going to forget, because last season was a demonstration of how it's been for the last 20 years. I still need to see if that can work. And like I said to you, explain to me what we do when we can't break down teams. What does this manager?
That's why you need
do?
another option then.
That's when this manager needs to make his money. This is why I do the comparisons for Mourinho with Porto. That is where a manager made his money. The way he managed the team, the way he set up the team, the way he nullified opposition, the way he got his team over the line, the way he was able to beat Alex Ferguson. Do you know what I'm saying? This is where managers make their money. Antonio Conte going to Chelsea, changing 3 at the back and getting them over the line. Not just winning games, but getting them over the line. When he had a whole team that wasn't his team, wasn't players that he brought in. Martin's talking about set pieces. We didn't score no set pieces against Porto, bro. We had 2 corners and Havertz hit them wide both. I think one of them hit off his shoulder.
You had plenty of corners. You had like
plenty
7
of corners.
corners. You have 9.
And do you remember when I said
corners.
to you, we're not going to consistently score from set pieces? Did I not say that? We had set pieces against Porto. We didn't score. We didn't win. Weren't even able to equalize.
Premier League teams don't have a Pepe.
You know about this fan base, because the going's good, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But I tell you now, if we don't win the league, they'll all be saying what I'm saying. Why is the bench weak? Why didn't we get a striker?
I promise.
Why is it that this manager's not able, in phase 4, able to come up with a plan to break down the low block? These are questions that he still needs to answer, because these have been reasons why we've fallen short in previous seasons.
I don't think they will, bro. If you look at it,
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. But
listen. Unless you fall apart and you finish like 10, like you collapse in the next 11. You have 11 games left. You play 27 games. Unless you collapse, no one is gonna question this team. They're gonna say you might need reinforcements. Of course, every team needs reinforcements.
So Arsenal, they play City in a couple weeks.
Let me do the super chat before you
go
go on, Mike. Tony here is saying he is right. Nur Sad is right. City's players are system players too, but when they are stuck, a Foden, a Haaland, a KDB step up and do pull out something world class to win. Well, I think against Forest, Gabriel Jesus pulled the rabbit out of the hat and you won the game. You have the set pieces now, which is no team in the league have that weapon. I gotta be honest about Arsenal.
Okay, if we've got all of it, we have to win the league then, because you're telling me that we have
there is no
everything
have to
get over the line. We must.
There is no have to. I'm gonna ask you something.
But you're telling me we have everything.
I'm gonna ask you.
Me that,
I'm gonna flip it to you. I'm gonna flip it to you. Right? I'm gonna flip it to you. I'm gonna flip it to you. Do Pep Guardiola have the best team in the world?
I'll put it up there. Yeah.
Okay. The Pep Guardiola is the best coach in the world. Do you agree or not?
Yeah.
If he doesn't win the league, has he failed?
He has failed for the season, yes.
All right then. So you think there's only one way of thinking about it? It's only you win or you fail.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's won how many titles since he's been there? So if a manager doesn't win for one season, you can understand, say, okay, go again, because you've got credit in the bank. This manager doesn't have credit in the bank, so don't compare him to Pep. He's been here 4 years and not delivered me a major honor. So at the end of the day, you can't compare it to Pep. It's not the same comparison. They've not achieved the same thing.
Actually, he has way less experience than Pep. So
well, that's not my problem. Don't take the job then. You're not good enough.
That's not your problem as a fan. So
it's not my problem. He hasn't got the experience.
The board are okay with it.
Product. As a fan, I'm here to judge the product.
But the board are okay with it. That's the thing. That's why you didn't. The board are okay. The board are building something. The board are building something. That's what they think. That's what they think.
So were Tottenham under Poch, and ultimately they won nothing. So were Liverpool with Brendan Rodgers and they didn't win anything. So was Man United with Ole, they didn't win anything. So was Lampard at Chelsea, didn't win anything. Everybody's got a project. Not every project is successful. So what are we talking about?
No one said every project is successful.
Okay, so if the project is not successful, it's time to axe the project. It's simple as that.
It's all about how you measure success, though.
Success is only measured by trophies. When you talk to me about when you've spoken to me in comparison of Inter and Arsenal, you've spoken to me about trophies. Oh, how many Champions League have you got? So if it's not measured like that, why bring it up? Every fan brings this up.
You have to build to it. That's the thing.
It's not about build to it. It's about what trophies have you got.
There comes to a point where the building needs to be capped, though, because let's say they don't win this year, right? Yes. The next year for Arsenal is literally a must-win season for them next year. Yeah. Like, it has to be. And we talk about like the mentality. They play City in a couple weeks, right? If Arsenal get bopped at the Etihad, we're gonna question the mentality right away. Yes. The pressure automatically increases because they proved once again that, like Northside said, when the moment gets tough, when the big occasion arises, because for me, they have to get a point at the Etihad. They can't lose that game. Like, it's a must at least get a point. I know table-wise, they can afford to maybe lose it, right? Like, if City drop points this weekend, but thought process is if they lose at the Etihad, once they go behind by more than 2 points against City, I feel like that's when they're going to collapse because I don't think they can hunt down City. Hamza, look at this guy, Hamza, in the comments, man. Already underdog.
Forget about it.
This is the thing. You can only afford this is real for so long, though. This is the problem, yeah? Even if they don't want to hold him accountable this season, it'll have to be next season or the season after that.
This is a fake account.
So at the end of the day, yeah, they can keep running away from expectation, but at the end of the day, eventually he has to deliver. And these same fans have no problem calling Poch a bottler, Brendan Rodgers a bottler, Ole a bottler, Lampard, all these managers a bottler. But when it's Arteta, context, please, context. No, there is no context. There is no context. The context
I'm gonna ask Mike a question.
That's it. You're paid for a job.
Mike said something. Mike said if they don't get a point, they will question the mentality. Do you think Arsenal going to the Etihad are favorites?
They're not favorites, but as a player, you have to. It's not about being favorites because you can argue every time City go to Anfield, they're not favorites, but they want to get that point there.
So, what do you question City's mentality if they go to Anfield and don't get a point?
I don't question City because they've won everything. There needs to be one.
Okay, so you're questioning Arsenal, who are inferior. Do you believe Arsenal are inferior to Man City? I'm just trying to see the logic here.
I don't think
are Arsenal inferior to Man City?
They are. I think they're a little bit inferior in terms of quality.
Do you think Pep is more experienced and better than Arteta?
Yeah.
But you're asking Arsenal. I actually think it's the other way around. I think if Arsenal, there are three scenarios here, right? If Arsenal go to the Etihad and play well, we have to praise them. If they go and play well, but they still lose the game, we have to say that's an improvement on last season. That's my iron thinking. If they go and get humiliated and insulted and they lose by 3 goals or they don't put in a good performance, now you can ask questions. Because the guy is faster than you, the guy has the better car, he has the better driver, but you want the guy with the lesser car and the lesser driver to compete. And if he competes and doesn't win the race and lose the race by a small margin, you want to tell him you're a loser before even giving him the better car.
But as a team, you have to eventually show that you can get over that final hurdle. And for me, I think Arsenal's final hurdle has always been beating City at the Etihad. Or at least getting a draw. You need to get the point in that game because you can talk about.
By the way, I never said they don't need to get a point. I believe they can get a point, but there are other aspects in football that control an outcome of a game.
No, but I'm saying in terms of like maybe something happened in the game where Arsenal. But
I am not shameless. I am logical. You guys are not. You guys wanna put it black and white. I don't.
It is black and white. It is black and white. It is.
I think in football,
I'll tell you why it's black and white. It's black and white because this manager decided to not get me a 20-goal season striker when he got rid of Aubameyang.
But he's playing well now.
Hold on.
Scoring 30 goals.
No, I'm telling you why it's black and white. It's black and white because they told me give it 4 years. It's now year 4. It is black and white because they told me let him build his team. He's built his team. It is black and white because he's decided to keep a load of those players on the bench or either bought them to my club. It is black and white because some players that he's brought to the club yeah, he's deemed need to go out on loan, which he wasted money, which is why we hit FFP apparently in January. It is black and white. What do you mean it's not black and white? It's black and white. He's been given time, support, money, and he's had, you know, you're talking about Man United, the control to do what he wants with the team. He's had that. He's had that, and he was back to spend 200 mil, yeah, almost 200 mil on the midfield this season to go and get a Kai Havertz that he wanted. He's been backed. So what else do you need? What else do you need? It's time to deliver now. What do you mean it's not black and white? It is black and white. The sport of football is about results. And if you don't get results and you don't get trophies, you are sacked. Why is it that it's this long little theatrical violin when it's for Arteta? Oh, context. Nah, bro. You don't deliver, you're gone. You can apply a little bit of context when it's Big Ange. He's just arrived. I can understand that. This manager's been here 4 years. What are you telling me? And everything the fan base wanted him to have, he's had that. He's had those supports. So what else does he need? Nah, it's time to deliver. It's not time for, oh, it's not black. It is black and white. It is black and white. It's time to win now. I don't want to hear about, oh, next year. Every year, everybody tells me next year. Every year. Nah, it's annoying. Every year they tell me next year. No.
After Mike speaks, I'm gonna ask a simple question, Northside. But Mike, go ahead. You were gonna say something about the game and
I just think every season for a lot of teams, there's always comes this one point where they just have to get over that hurdle. And like I've always said, I think City, because what's the point of beating all these teams, right? 6-0, 5-0, 4-0, whatever. But when it comes to the big occasion, you once again fall short. That then again, you just become the nearly team. And Arsenal, I don't think want to be remembered as a nearly team. That's what they mock their rivals for in Spurs, the nearly guys, especially with Poch. That's why everyone counted Poch as you're nearly there. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. I think Arteta's a better coach than Poch, and I think Arsenal are a better team than that. So I think they can do it eventually. But eventually in football, you can always say eventually in football, but sometimes eventually never happens. So I think they just need to actually get the job done. And I think that the capabilities to do it. I think they can go into the Etihad and get a win, by the way. I think the way that they're performing is really good. And I think on current form, you could say they're the best team in the league, right? So when you're considered that, you have to get the win. There's no, or at least the point. You have to make sure the title race needs to fall into their hands. You can't be hunting. I don't think Arsenal have the capabilities, in my opinion, to hunt. When the gap gets bigger, they need, like, they've kept it close the whole year.
I believe I agree with you. My point about Arsenal is the team is improving. He is learning on the job. That's his first job. And the question would be, if you aren't getting a better manager, which is, I believe there is not a lot of better managers out there to work with these players, unless the board is going to get a new manager and go sign De Jong and go sign, you get Barella and you get Lautaro Martinez, you go get best. You don't need a defense. Anyway, you sign a very, very superstars from the world. I don't think there is a better man for this job other than maybe Pep Guardiola than Arteta for these players. That's what I believe. But that's my point. And that comes the question. Toney here is asking, Northside, that's a question to you. Do you think the club is in better position now as the club rather than 5 years ago? 2 title races back to back in the Champions League. This is probably the best Arsenal have been in the last 20 years. Do you agree?
Yeah. So what?
But that's the point. That's the point.
No, the point is this. Yeah, he's talking about being in the title race. What did we take from last season? Nothing. You know what you get for not winning major honors? Nothing. And when when we were on the decline, and Tottenham were the ones that were finishing above Arsenal, getting in Champions League spaces, what did Arsenal fans say? Yeah, but you didn't win anything. That's what they would say to them. Yeah, but you didn't win anything. Yeah, you went to the Champions League final, but you didn't win anything. So why is it different when it's my club now? When it's my club,
I think there is progression this year. No,
the problem is Arsenal fans are sincere when it's about rivals. When it's their club, they move the goalpost. When it's their rivals, yeah, but what did you win? But what did you win? Every season, but what did you win? And I agree with that. But keep the same energy for your club. Just competing isn't good enough. What did you win? What have we won? We've not won anything. The only way that we can take something back from this is if we win. Otherwise, it means nothing. 93% top of the league last season doesn't mean anything because we didn't win anything. You don't get nothing. You don't get an accolade. You don't get a medal. You don't get a trophy. It doesn't matter. It's just another season you didn't win. It doesn't go down on the record.
Yeah. But the whole point is,
what
I
are we
agree.
talking about?
Norsa, just give me a second. Nobody disagrees with you. I think every Arsenal fan in the chat, every Arsenal fan in the world, they want to win major honors. They want to win the trophies. They want to win the Champions League. They want to win the league. Do you think an Arsenal fan sit here and say, I just want to play good football without winning? No one says that.
They do
The problem
say that.
is,
They do say that.
no.
Yeah,
I can ask Arsenal fans in the chat.
Yeah,
Anybody in the chat, would you rather play good football or win trophies? Yes or no?
Bro,
Trophies
every time
or
it's time
good
to
football?
deliver,
Let me
they
ask
don't.
you.
They
Let me
move
ask
away
you.
from
Fine.
demanding their club to win trophies, bro. And they will say, "Oh, but we put the pressure on." Or next season, they always move it away. Started this, which is why started the season. A lot of them said we're going to win 2 major honors. Then we went through that little dip where we lost 3 games in a row. Context, all this, all that. As long as we win something, I remember them saying the words. As long as we win something, what do you mean something?
Wait, I need to ask you the question though.
Come on, man.
Thank you, Tony, for the support, bro. Just hear me out, Norsan. Hear me out. Arteta now, if he goes and you hit the reset button, do you believe with this year? I'm looking at the team now. You go towards the end, and I'm just gonna tell you, you go towards the end of the season. You might not win it, right? You contest until the end of the season. Do you believe if Arteta leaves, you're gonna hit the reset button, or no?
I don't know what this ownership's gonna do because they've already done what I didn't want them to do, which is appointing Arteta.
What would you do? What would you do?
What I would do, I'd go out there and get a proven winner. I'd go and get your manager, Inzaghi. I'd get him straight away.
Let's be realistic. Inzaghi is not going to leave Inter to go to Arsenal. Why would he leave? If you do win and Inter win
you can still try though. You can still try.
Why would it? Unless he wants, he might want to go. Listen,
you're not Inzaghi, so
he might want to go. If he wins,
you're not Inzaghi though. You can't speak for him. You don't know that.
And you can't say that your club is going to go get Inzaghi as well.
You asked me what I would do, and I'm telling you what I would do.
Understand it.
No, you asked me what I would do, and I told you
you would go and get Inzaghi. But I don't think this is realistic.
You're not Inzaghi.
But I don't think this is realistic. You aren't realistic.
Well, I'm not realistic.
Yeah, you are not.
I didn't think it was realistic for Mourinho to go to Spurs. I didn't think it was realistic for Conte to go to Spurs. I didn't think that they would be able to attract that manager, but they did. I didn't think Ancelotti would go to Everton, but they did. So I don't know what you're talking about. You're not Inzaghi. I know it rattles you because you know you'll be stressed if he leaves. But at the end of the day, you're not the manager. You don't know if he would pick Arsenal over Inter. You don't know that.
So you would go and hit the reset button and get an Inzaghi. So okay, let's run with your narrative. You would leave Arteta and go get an Inzaghi.
Yeah.
Okay. You get an Inzaghi and he will work with these players. So you believe, okay, so hold on. First of all, Inzaghi hasn't won the league yet with Inter. We won like cups and super cups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you would go get an Inzaghi and let him work with this team, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He would come at the end of the season.
You believe Inzaghi will work with this team, will have a better chance of winning. Okay, you believe that Inzaghi with this team will have better chances of winning than Arteta. That's what you think. That's what you're saying.
Well, he's a winner, isn't he? So already he's better than this manager. He's got a better CV.
Okay, the funny thing about it is that
what are you telling me? My manager's better than yours,
I'm going to tell you, me thinking about it, I don't think not every manager will come to a club that will do better than with the same squad. Like I believe Pep Guardiola might not do the same with this Liverpool squad like Klopp. For example, Pep Guardiola might not do the same with the Atletico squad like Simeone. Even though on paper he might be a better manager, he might not do the same. That's my point. Arteta built this, and Arteta did this. Right? If it fails this year miserably, I'm with you. And I said context because I'm all about progression. The difference between me and you is that you are looking at last year as you being second. I'm looking at you last year of a team that, yes, you were top. I don't think you actually challenged for the title in the manners I think. I think challenging for the title, if Man United losing it goal differential to Chelsea, I think challenging for the title is Man United versus Man City in the Aguero year, Liverpool versus Klopp. I don't believe in challenging for the title if you knew, and we all knew that you lost the title in game week 33.
There we go. So there you go, people. Mo doesn't rate this Arsenal team as highly as he says he does. Then
I literally said last year. By the way, I'm gonna die in this hell. I literally said last year, if you consider Arsenal challenge for the title, your level of challenging for the title is very low. What would you say about Liverpool then, or Man United and Chelsea, the 2000 the 8-1 against Sunderland, whatever that you won? That's Manchester City. What would you say about these title races? What would you say about the title race that won in the game week 36, 37 when just Gerrard slipped? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You wouldn't talk about a title race when you in game week 32 lost it. This is it. You game week 33, Arsenal fans and Arsenal Football Club raised the white flag. We all knew you lost the title. Nobody believed you're gonna win at the Etihad. No one believed that. No one did.
That's cool. So you agree with me then? This manager?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I
wanna get
don't.
to.
I don't. That's why this year, the way I'm seeing it now, the team started slower, and I said that. Well, you okay?
Yeah, stretched my leg.
Okay.
My leg was hurting.
I said last year, looking at the beginning of the season, I thought Arteta didn't progress. But looking at it now, after I watched the last 7 games is closer to quarter of the season. That's a lot of games. The team looks better now. Even Kai Havertz, by the way, he's improving. Isn't he improving, or you don't think he's improving?
He's improved. I still don't think he's of the level.
He's not Thierry Henry, right? He's not.
Not all great not all great strikers that I rate are Thierry Henry level, but they're still great strikers.
Like he's not the level. He's not the level you want.
He's not even Adebayor, man.
He's not even Adebayor. Yeah, I agree. However, I think Arsenal have improved, and if you win against Brentford tomorrow, that's 8 games on the bounce.
Okay. Cool.
When is the last time you did this?
When's the last time we won the league? Oh yeah, I was 13 years old. 20 years ago. Yeah, I was 13 years old. Yeah, cool. So yeah, it's time to deliver. Time to deliver. I don't care about all the context, bro. I do not care. That's it. Simple as that. I don't care. Win me a major honor. That's what I want. That's what I want for my football club. Win me a major honor. I don't care about everything else. Everything else is just big talk. Yeah, at the end of the day, pushing it close.
But that's why if he keeps going like this, and I'm not saying wait 3-4
You're the one that brought this conversation this way, because I didn't have nothing bad to say about our last couple of games. All I've had is praise. You've brought it down this road, and you're talking about, oh, but Inzaghi, bro, is way, isn't it? You know what I mean? I hope we do get Inzaghi. Just to rattle you. Arsenal, I hope we do.
Just to rattle me?
Just to rattle you, yeah. Not
because Inzaghi is a good coach.
No, both. 2 in 1, 2 for 1. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, I don't have no attachment to no manager that comes to my club.
I don't.
You got a job. You got a job. You do your job. I like you. You don't do your job. I want what's best for my football club. Leave. That's it. If Arteta wins the league, I'm more than happy for him to get a new contract. I'm more than happy for him to stay if he wins me a league. If he doesn't, goodbye. And the next one that comes in, same standards. Do your job. Your job is to.
What if he loses it in the last week? What if he stays 1 point behind Liverpool and Liverpool win every game, or 2 points behind Liverpool?
Yeah, I'd still look at the season and say that, well, why did we fall short? Oh, yeah, because you didn't address the bench. Oh, yeah, when we've got one of our centre-backs down, oh, yeah, we've only got Kivior. That wasn't good enough last season to cover at centre-back. Oh, yeah, we don't have a striker. We didn't address any of those things. So at the end of the day, it's still on you.
So you don't think he's right, though? Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, because I've asked this question to a couple Arsenal fans. Like Mo said, you finish, let's say, a point behind last day, and you make like Champions League semi-final or final, but you lose that. You would sack him at that point?
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Time to deliver now.
That's where I kind of go away from that. For me, I think, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so obviously I'm looking from like outside. Obviously, you have the right to feel which way you want about sacking him, but I think for me, I set the benchmark.
What do you mean? He doesn't have the right to feel the way anyway. So.
But you have the right to be spewing all this PR for my manager.
but like, I think for me, I set the benchmark as next year for Arsenal. Like, I think next year is like the final year for like Arteta needs to win like the big one. Whether it's UCL
can I have a devil's advocate with you moment here? Because I'm itching. You know me. I'm itching with devil's advocate. Why not this year then?
I'm saying but this year I'm saying if they finish like really close, like you said, like final day of the season, they
1-2
lose it.
points.
Yeah, 1-2 points, and they make Champions League semifinals.
Yeah.
Like at that, I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, you mentioned progression. For me, that's real progression because you literally took
Okay.
the title. You took the title to the last day, and Champions League in Europe, your first year back in Champions League, you made it to like the final four. That's good progression.
And you
But
really
next,
think my fan base would
Now hold
say,
on, hold on,
okay,
hold
next
on. No
season
side,
we
hold
gotta
on,
get
no
over the
side, hold
line?
on.
They wouldn't
Hold
say
on.
that.
Hold on, no side.
They wouldn't say that.
What if next year he finishes? So this year he finishes 2 points. Next year he finishes exact same points on goal difference and losing the Champions League final. Do you think this is it?
I think at that point you have to get rid of him. I
Like,
think that's
the thing about it, that talk means, okay, could have been this year then. Yeah,
no, but you
the
have to
same,
give it.
the
You have to
same
give it one more
talk
chance.
you had, the same talk you had now, it could have been applied last year and said, yeah, next year is your threshold, like Northside, what I said.
But for going from my point of view, I never
Does
had
that make
this year
sense?
this year I didn't have the expectation. I think for Arsenal this year I wanted to see can they repeat what they did last year and slightly improve on it in terms of how they compete and in Europe, how did they do their first year back in Europe? Because with Arteta in Europe, for example, I think that's where like his real weaknesses shine out. I don't think it's in the
He
Premier
has
League.
zero experience in Europe, I think.
That's not,
In
no,
Champions League, yeah.
no, but even in Europa, the way that he managed games in Europa, the guy has never, by the way, the guy has not won a game at the Emirates in knockout football in Europe. In Europa, he lost to Slavia Prague, he lost to Olympiacos, he lost to Villarreal, and he lost to Sporting. That's four. That's four.
Just a difference here between the British fan base and the Portuguese. Yeah, Roger Schmidt for Benfica, the most successful club in Portugal. Yeah, he won the league last season. This season, he's had 2 defeats in a row. Sporting Lisbon, Benfica. He lost in the cup to one of our rivals, and then he lost in the league. Yeah, do you know what the fans are saying? No crap about, oh, look at what he done last season. Nothing. If he doesn't win the league, even though we were top of the league before we just lost to our rivals, he has to go. And if he loses the cup, he 100,000,000% has to go. Nobody's saying context. Nobody's saying PR.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's saying nothing. And this is a manager that's got more
If
credit.
he
in
wins the
bank than
league
this
and loses
manager.
the cup,
No, I'm bringing up the example for a reason. This manager's got more credit in the bank than this manager. He's actually won the league for his current club. And it was only a year ago. But you see how he's bottling it now? If he doesn't win, nobody cares about what you did last season. Last season was last season. So why should I have to have patience with this manager after 4 years?
The margins are different in different leagues, though.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the people. No, it's not. It's the people. There's an expectation. And over here, we move the expectation all the time. You want to talk about big club, big club, big club. And as soon as you put on Arsenal fans big expectations and tell them, you told me the manager's amazing. You told me the squad is amazing. You told me Kai Havertz can do a job. You told me the bench is incredible. You told me this player, that player. Cool, we better win. No. Context. They want all the accolades and all the praise of a big club, but they don't want the expectation and the demand to win of a big club. They don't want that. They want all the praise and they don't want the expectation. They don't want the demands, but they want you to big them up like they're the best. That's the problem that I have with my fan base. I want to be a big club.
I'm sorry.
Big club
for you to say it's an English thing is wrong, okay?
I think it is right. I think it is right.
Because the reason why I'm saying that, there is a reason why I'm saying, just hold on. Because I've met Martin isn't English. I met a lot of Arsenal fans from Nigeria, right? I met a lot of Arsenal fans from Egypt. I met a lot of Arsenal fans from America, from Canada. You know what I mean? It's not an English thing. I think it's where you hold your club. I think it's the level of your club. I think that, to be honest, I really think this. It's all about where do you think your club is at? Where, like, do you think Arsenal are the same level as Benfica in Portugal, for example, or Arsenal are Sporting Lisbon?
Most
or
Portuguese
Arsenal
fans,
or Arsenal are Sporting Braga. You know what I mean?
Arsenal. They won't support Arsenal. Do you know why? Because the first thing you say if you support Arsenal, if you're Portuguese, yeah, and that's why I don't care about the comments. You know how much I've been roasted being an Arsenal fan. All they say is, yeah, you guys don't demand enough. You guys accept mediocrity time after time, excuse after excuse. It is a social thing.
Bro,
the mentality of the people are not to accept it. Even Sporting Lisbon, we already saw what happened in Sporting Lisbon. I don't condone that.
I actually think Arsenal are in good place.
Arsenal is always about being plucky losers. It's always about gassing it. And when it all falls down, then you can mention.
I think you're in a good place now. I think you are projecting failure. You are. Let me do a couple of these super chats. Okay. Arsenal literally beat Liverpool. What you on? Yeah, but he's saying, I think you guys are missing what Norsad is saying. Norsad is saying this is time to deliver a trophy. It's
No, I think
not
that was,
time.
I think that was about me when I mentioned that Arsenal have to beat City as like the final hurdle
Yeah, but I think City beating City at the Etihad.
or drawing.
Bro,
A
Arsenal
draw. A
aren't
draw.
beating City at the Etihad.
Why
If they
not?
beat City, okay, just hold on. If they beat City at the Etihad, that's a big thing. It doesn't happen, guys. That doesn't happen often. What are we talking about here?
What are you talking
Why are
about?
people assuming that Arsenal should beat City at the Etihad? I think that's crazy.
No, we have a
That's
chance, bro. We have a
crazy,
chance. No, but we
bro.
have a chance. We have a good chance of
You,
beating them.
you do. Okay, hold
We have
on.
a good chance.
You do. Credit to the team that was built, Northside.
Look at this
Credit
guy.
to the way you play now.
Credit to the team that was
gonna tell
built
you.
by
I'm
your
gonna tell you.
husband.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. In the beginning, Northside, I'm gonna ask you a straight question, and I know you answer it honestly, right? I know that you're always an honest guy. If Arsenal were playing Man City in October, would you say you have a chance the way you were playing?
No.
Okay. If
because
Arsenal play Man City tomorrow, would you say you have a chance of beating them at the Etihad?
Yeah, we do.
Because that means you're better. That's just by
We are
definition.
playing better, yeah.
However, I'm not gonna sit here, and I sat on this channel 50,000 times, and I said that's exaggeration, about 250 times. I believe that Arsenal play good football. However, I am never, ever gonna sit here and tell you that Arsenal will go to the Etihad and they have a bigger chance of winning than losing. Arsenal, I would say, Man City 50%, a draw 30% or 40%, and Arsenal win is 10%. That's my margins, or 60, 30, and 10. Arsenal losing is 60%. You guys forget that you are playing away from home against one of the best teams in the world, if not the best.
Okay, I have a question, Mo. Do you think that the club should approach it that way though when they go thinking into the Etihad?
No, of course not. What are you
Okay.
talking about? No, of course not.
Because like we talk about,
but I'm not the club. I'm not in the dressing room, bro. I'm just telling you how the odds are. Do you think?
But
Brent,
what I'm saying is, I'm saying though, I feel like the club have approached it like that. Like last year, for example, I think they went into the Etihad.
No, they did. I don't think they did. I think they believed that. I think they were a little bit.
I don't think
actually believe that what happened last year is that a lack of experience, injury, and Arteta was wrong. Let's just establish something. Arteta managed the game wrong. He just did. He didn't adapt, bro. He didn't adapt.
I think last year the moment they fell behind City in the standings, I think that's when they gave it up. That's what I'm saying. They gave up. I'm saying this year they can't give it up. Yeah. So I need to see I'm not saying they need to win at Etihad. I'm saying that would be obviously biggest bonus. But I'm saying a draw. They need to get a point there. It just has to happen.
Yeah.
Let me do this. It's something that they need to do.
By the way, they might not need to. It depends. Oh no, they have to. By the way, Arsenal cannot afford to lose. Yeah. They have to. Prize is saying Mo, playing well doesn't guarantee you winning the league. Of course, the Zerbi plays good football and it's good on the eye, but it doesn't win him anything. I never said that, by the way. You have to beat City to win the Premier League, not playing well at the Etihad. I am thinking you have a chance of beating City at the Etihad. It's just a smaller chance. You can get a draw, of course, because Arsenal look better than Manchester City at the current moment. That's what I'm looking at both teams. However, you're going away to play at Man City. And I never said that playing well guarantee you winning the league. I never said that. Liverpool might not win the league, and probably they play the third best football in the country after City and Arsenal, right? They are top now. They have the easiest fixture list, and they have City at Anfield. I never said that, Price. Never, ever said that.
No, you just said we had a chance, a better chance.
I said they have a better chance than last year, and I have to. I still double down on this. You both agree, right? This Arsenal team now it's better than last year.
I've said it from the beginning of the year. I said this team has a better chance.
In the beginning of the season, it was different. He changed something since he went to Dubai. David Raya looked more comfortable. Kai Havertz looked better. Even Martinelli looked better, right? Odegaard, even you, Nursat, sat and credited Odegaard the last 2-3 games because he changed.
Don't say that. All I do is bash my club. Apparently, that's all I do.
No, I'm watching you. I'm being serious.
It
Like
is what it is, man.
literally,
I think it's a pinch of
he
salt
was
at the end of
he
the
was
day.
very slow in the beginning of the season. Odegaard lately have fixed up. He looks very
Listen,
good.
we're playing well. We're playing well at the moment. Let's just see how it goes.
Jorginho, yeah, let's see.
Let's
Caller
just see
here
how it
is
goes.
saying, what is this madness of Arsenal AFC wanting to renew Arteta contract now? If they renew without him winning, that tells us trophies are not requirement.
Exactly.
I mean, they might want to do it to stop poaching from happening.
Yeah,
Like,
they might do it. Oh, that's a very good approach.
Oh, whatever, Mo, man. Just stop with the cap, man. Stop with
it's
the
true
cap.
though.
Cap,
There's
bro.
no point in getting
Barcelona.
him re-signed, bro. You don't even know if he's gonna get us over the line. Like, there's no
If
point to
Arteta,
Nobody knows.
if there's hints of
Bro,
Arteta
but
leaving,
people are not
Barcelona will
saying,
start doing
you know when Big Ange had the award, best manager of the season award.
This is a bullshit award, and you know
Yeah,
it, right?
but the point was, yeah, even though it's a BS award, yeah, the point was it's too premature to give anyone the best manager of the season award because the season ain't done. So if it's too early to award him, why is it not too early to award a manager a new contract when he hasn't even seen us win a major honor yet? The season ain't over yet. What are we rewarding him for?
Caller here is saying, should Arsenal get both Toney and Watkins, bro?
They can't afford that. First of all,
Bro, what? Do you guys think they should change the way they play? Caller, if they can get both, but I don't think Toney and Watkins will go to Arsenal because both would want to start and they wouldn't want to compete. I don't think Toney would want to compete with Watkins. This is just my personal opinion, Caller. Okay, we'll just do this one. Caller, I expect Arsenal to beat City because they are much better. We'll see. Listen, if Arsenal beat City, I think it will give them a very, very good chance of winning the league. However, it's not in their hand. It's in Liverpool's hand. Absolutely. Listen, people, this has been absolutely fantastic show. Thanks to Northside, of course. Northside LDN. I enjoyed that. I don't know why you're laughing.
Devil's advocate. Now I know why Sam is like this with you. Now I understand, man. I understand. You do it every time. Every time.
I don't do
Devil's
anything.
advocate all the time.
By the way, I'm not doing devil's advocate here. Not now. Guys, I want to thank everybody. Let's get to 200 likes, people. It's simple. Guys, I know there is about 40 of you that haven't hit that like button. So the like button is underneath your live chat. We're back tonight. We'll do Liverpool versus Man City combined 11. I think that would be fun with you guys. I think that will be fun. Cheers, everyone that joined. Northside channel is in the description. It is simple. It's easy. Click. Griggs, of course, channel is also in the description. Griggs Talks is in the description. Go give them a subscription. One click away from your subscription. It's not that hard. Take care, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we'll see you guys soon. We're out.